And for the moment, we'll shift closer home to Afghanistan. The spate of bad headlines has not ended since the Taliban took power there. This weekend was more of the same. The Islamic State targeted a Sikh temple in Kabul, a Gurudwara. Almost 30 worshippers were inside at the moment. One was killed along with a guard stationed outside. Hours later, the Islamic State claimed responsibility. Their suicide bombers carried out this attack. They had machine guns, grenades. There are even reports of a car laden with explosives. Taliban officials say things could have been much worse and that the main terror operation was foiled.
The attack started with a hand grenade explosion, and then the attackers wanted to detonate their suicide car bomb in the crowd of people. They were identified by our security forces and were killed before reaching their target. There are not many casualties. Just one of our security personnel was martyred, and one of our Sikh compatriots was killed as well.
How easily said. Just one Sikh compatriot was killed, just one. It's a human life we are talking about. And that's only half the story. Afghanistan was home to nearly 500,000 Sikhs in the 1970s. Today, just 200 of them remain, 200, which is why the Islamic State targets the Sikh community. They're small, they're close-knit, and they're vulnerable. In 2020, the Islamic State attacked another Sikh temple in Kabul. Around 25 people were killed then. That attack was random. This one was not. The Islamic State claims this was a revenge attack. Revenge for what? For the insulting comments against Prophet Muhammad. Everyone knows that story by now. A ruling party spokesperson in India made insulting remarks about the Prophet. Muslim countries had a meltdown. The spokesperson apologized. She was suspended from the party. The matter should have ended there, but unfortunately it has not. First, the Al-Qaeda threatened to attack Indian cities. Now the Islamic State blows up a Sikh temple in Kabul. Do you see the pattern here? Terror groups have hijacked this campaign. It's not about religion or freedom of speech anymore. It's about spreading fear. This statement from the Islamic State makes that clear. Let me quote from what they said. The attack targeted Hindus and Sikhs and the apostates who protected them in an act of support for the messenger of Allah. But why Afghan Sikhs? They had nothing to do with the insults. They're not even Indian citizens. So attacking them was an act of cowardice. You see, India is the largest home of the Sikh community in the world. More than 20 million Indians follow Sikhism, so the target may have been Afghan Sikhs, but the message was to India. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi was quick to respond to that. Let me tell you what he said, and I'm quoting again. Shocked by the cowardly terrorist attack against the Gurudwara in Kabul, I condemn this barbaric act and pray for the safety and well-being of the devotees. Clearly, this was not a one-off. Chances are there will be more targeted attacks on Sikhs. And to prevent that, the Indian government has stepped in now. It has cleared e-visas for 111 Afghan Sikhs. Hindus and Sikhs from Afghanistan will get visas on priority. That is the direct fallout from this attack. Perhaps the final exodus of Afghanistan's minorities, the end of plural Afghanistan. This is the fallout. But what about the political fallout? The Taliban were hoping that India will reopen its embassy in Kabul. Those plans could be put on hold because after this attack, the message is quite clear. India still has a target on its back in Afghanistan. The Taliban may promise security, but clearly they're not capable of providing it. Secondly, it shows that the Prophet Rao is far from over. The Muslim nations may have forgotten it, but the terrorists have not. They're using this as an excuse to attack non-Muslims, to attack minorities. And the worst part, those same Muslim nations are silent now. Remember, Qatar kicked off that entire diplomatic storm. That same Qatar has a vested interest in Afghanistan. They hosted Taliban leaders in exile. They mediated America's talks with them. But they are silent after this attack on a Gurudwara. And that silence has consequences. Terror groups are using this opportunity to radicalize their people. They've hijacked this campaign. If Muslim nations don't speak out now, things could get worse. There could be more attacks, more casualties. And to prevent that, Muslim nations must do what India did. Condemn these unruly elements, take action against them. If not, they will be complicit in what happens next. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.